Before Stranger Things made Dungeons and Dragons cool again, in 1980s gave us an animated series that turned the tabletop game into Saturday morning magic. Today we're looking at the youngest and maybe the most beloved hero of the show, Bobby the Barbarian and his faithful unicorn Uni. Stick around because I've got some surprising behind the scenes details and rare trivia about this iconic duo. Bobby is the youngest of the kids trapped in the mystical Dungeons and Dragons realm. Just 8 years old, he's the group's barbarian, wielding a magical club that can cause earthquakes and smash through nearly anything. But he's never alone. He's almost always by the side of Uni, a baby unicorn who acts as his loyal pet and his best friend. While other characters like Hank and Diana handled their action and strategy, Bobby and Uni brought the heart. The innocence and vulnerability gave the show an emotional weight. Anytime the group was in danger, Bobby was the first. And, he didn't really go fighting, but he was protecting Uni at all time. Here's a fun fact. Uni was voiced by Frank Welker, the legendary voice behind Megatron and Transformers and Scooby-Doo's Fred. That's right, that little unicorn's cries and mehs came from one of the most famous voices in animated history. He was also not just a comic relief, but many times she acted as a kind of an emotional anchor for Bobby, keeping him brave and when everything seemed possible. All right, this is an oldie but a goldie, but let's take a look at the box. This has been around for a while. Bobby and Uni from the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. Missing a couple of these, but we are going to dive in and see how this does. This was an oldie special for $9.99. This is back when Hasbro decided to go no plastic on the front to see this. Quality control in these figures were something to be desired. So let's just crack this open real quick. See what we got. Hope everybody is enjoying the history of these, because these are figures that I don't think a lot of people really cartoon wised in. But all right, so when you open this, you just got two little baggies right there. That's what you got. You got this and you got that. Let's open up Uni first, I think. Yeah, Uni the unicorn. All right, we get a dice. Comment, what do you think right now? What do you think what it's going to be to 12? Let's roll it. It's a 9. Did you get a 9? Or is that a 6? You pick. All right, so there comes Uni. Let's bring this camera down. Now let's open them first. Tissue paper for all. Unwrapping it here. And then we got Bobby. So we got Bobby and Uni coming in here, and that looks good. Let's get a little bit more detailed and what's going on with these figures right now. All right, so for these figures, Uni is coming out like this. Does have a head articulation as such. Everything else is the same. Very just common unicorn that is going on here, but does have that My Little Pony vibe from the 80s with the eyes that look like that. Very, very good, and it's cartoon accurate. They did a good job with it. Got the club, Bam Bam's club. I always thought he was a Bam Bam guy, Bam Bam from the Flintstones, but he will hold it kinda. There's nothing really too majestic about holding the club into the hand. And as he walks in, so as we take a look at his face, the face and the actual look of the cartoon character in action figure form is looking pretty darn good, actually. The scale is actually pretty good. So even in the cartoon, when you see these two together, he was about waist high, Uni was, from Bobby. So here is where this action figure gets to be a little bit wonk. So the ball and the shoulder seems to be good. The elbow does turn. The wrist does turn. Now, let's just listen and see and cringe in horror. Oh, it turned. Okay, so that one actually went. Now let's take a peek at this one. Let's see if this breaks. No, so that actually was good. The waist turns a little bit. The head turns. All right, so now for the feet, the knee articulation does work. So I must have hit the lottery in getting one here that actually does do a good job. Now, will he stand on his own? He will. He'll stand on his own. He's got Uni there. And we can always do, just like it's in the picture, universal club upside down to hold it. I don't know if anybody noticed that, but it's to help him weigh, and they've actually got it on the ground for him to actually stand. So if you see the actual photo of him, it's actually there to make him stand. And then there he is in the cartoon form, and then there's a lot more to it. All right, let's learn a little bit more about Bobby and Uni. Another core element of Bobby's character was his relationship with older sister Sheila the Thief. Their sibling bond really stood out in the show. Sheila often acted as Bobby's protector, but just as often, Bobby's bravery inspired her. The writers used their relationships to highlight themes of family, courage, and growing up, which is probably why fans still remember Bobby so fondly. Bobby's weapon, the Magical Club, wasn't actually part of the classic Dungeons & Dragons rules at the time. The writers created it specifically for the cartoon to give him a kid-friendly, powerful weapon. Uni was added late in development because producers thought the show needed a toyetic animal companion, think Masters of the Universe, to sell to the younger viewers. While Uni never got a big toy line, she became a breakout star with the kids. Bobby was voiced by Teddy Fields III, who was just 13 at the time, making him one of the youngest main characters of the show. Even though the cartoon ran from 1983 to 1985, Bobby and Uni have remained cult favorites. They've appeared in comics, fan art, and even made cameos in the Dungeons & Dragons tie-in media. And fun fact, when the movie came out in 2023, eagle-eyed fans spotted Bobby and Uni in a quick Easter egg scene, cementing their place in the history. So there you have it. Bobby and Uni, the brave barbarian and his unicorn best friend. They may not have been the strongest or the smartest, but they were definitely the heart of the party. If you love this trip down memory lane, hit that button that says like, share it, and let all your Dungeons & Dragons fans know about it. And don't forget to subscribe for deep dives into classic cartoon heroes like this one. And remember, sometimes those small humans are big impacts.